The aftermath of Hurricane Ida, there's still an urgent need for relief in Louisiana. 11 more deaths have been reported since yesterday. Now, the statewide total is now 26. More deaths are blamed on heat and other causes in Louisiana than the hurricane itself, but around 250,000 people are still without power. And it has been hot down there. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, is in a community which is still partly underwater. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. Underwater and cut off. Listen, we are 40 minutes outside the city of New Orleans, but it might as well be a world away. This area of Jean Lafitte and Barataria is surrounded by wetlands and marsh. It's beautiful on a good day. On a bad day after a hurricane, it's miserable. The main bridge was basically cut off, right? It collapsed. So the National Guard has set up a temporary one, and we crossed it 2 days ago and spent the last 48 hours working to tell this story.
You can practically walk on water where Bayou Barataria separates Jean Lafitte from Barataria, Louisiana. That grass is marsh, thrust in by Hurricane Ida's storm surge, which pushed a barge into the only bridge connecting these two communities. That knocked out the bridge, sunk the barge, and cut off the 1,200 residents in Barataria.
When I get up to...
We went to meet one of them.
Nice to meet you, sir.
It's nice to talk to somebody.
It's nice to talk to somebody.
My dog won't speak to me anymore.
Robert Gonzalo's home has been surrounded by floodwater for the last 10 days. He's lived here for 42 years, and Hurricane Katrina was the only one he evacuated for.
I was expecting water, but I wasn't expecting this kind of water.
Why didn't you leave for this one?
Good question. Why didn't I? I don't know. Me and my son decided to stay. You know, just hang around.
His home is 8 feet off the ground, and the water came within a foot of flooding it.
That's how high the water got up right here?
He rode out the hurricane at his mother-in-law's house right next door. It used to be here, but in the aftermath of the storm, floodwater lifted it off of its foundation and moved it nearly 10 yards.
You know, there's nothing that hurt me more to see my mother-in-law's house float away. It's pretty rough.
Just down the street from here, about a mile, is where we met 77-year-old Earl Trish.
Holding this, holding that for more than 3 hours, keeping the wind and rain down somewhat. The wind would blow so hard it would blow me back.
His home is high and dry. His wife evacuated, but he refused to. He had a heart attack 5 months ago, and when we met him, he had just run out of his heart medication. So his neighbor Lisa went and got it for him.
Got you some water, and we got your prescriptions.
That's the main thing I'm after.
When we drove through Barataria, we saw so many people who had their personal belongings at the road soaked. This man wanted us to see his horse that had run away during the hurricane and was now a mile down the road standing at someone's front door because it was dry there. Around here, pets are treated as well as people, which brings us back to Robert Gonzalo and Thor.
That's the only thing you gotta watch.
Hi, buddy.
He says Thor is the only reason he's still here. His wife and son already left. As for whether he's going to stick around for another storm the size of Ida,
It will never happen again.
Never again. 11 storm-related deaths here in the state of Louisiana. 9 of them have been heat-related. No power means no air conditioning, and the good folks here in Barataria have been told it'll probably be the end of the month before they get their power back. Tony.
David Begnaud with a story of neighbors helping neighbors and the continued cleanup there from Hurricane Ida. Thor looks like a very good boy. David, thank you very much.